Hey now, how is everybody doing? Welcome to Red Alert Diaries with Tanya E. Today, we're doing things just a little bit different because I want to take the time today to thank all of you that have joined me for season 3. This is my thank you. Some past episodes, some highlighted moments, some things that you all have let me know that you appreciate seeing. But there are some cities and some places and some times in your life where outside of anything that you can do, life will come at you, do things against you, and put you in a position that you have no control over. There are moments that we have to pause in our lives to stop enough to reflect on what's happened in our world. And when you do, there's some lessons that you didn't even know that you had in your soul. My first decade of life, yes, the wonderful age of So the things that I really needed to pay better attention to get me healed, to get me whole, to help me fight this thing that was coming at me in my life, I wasn't maximizing. I allowed myself to enter into what I consider the safe spaces. You know, the safe spaces, those things that you think is going to keep you whole. So in my singleness, what I chose to do was get to know me and love me all over again. I had to rediscover dreams. Some of us are in the middle of the moments that we're in because we forgot how to dream. What was it that you once were willing to do? What is it that you can do now to try to revamp that dream, re-energize that dream, and turn it into a goal? So when I finally took the time to pause, I discovered a strength I never knew I had. I discovered a strength that I am now maximizing the use of. There's a strength inside of you. You may not have paid enough attention to it because in the beginning, when things were going well, when things were good and all the world has been fine, you were just maximizing the use of your strength because it was just second nature. When you are loving, supportive, and caring of those around you, it's a strength. But when you're going through the chaos, you don't often see how it can be a strength for you. Because when you are carrying a heavy load, pick an area of your life, finances, children, because parenting gives you some things that you got to work through to discover how much strength you actually have. Or is it a situation where
you ain't tracking, you ain't trying. And so what I like to do is like give everybody points where they can measure themselves to see like, am I improving? Am I in a better position than I was last year, right? Because for many of us, it's not that we're not making money. It's that we don't know how to ensure that year after year, we are doing better than we were before. So there's 6 markers, right? The first one is tracking your net worth. With this, you want to take your assets minus liabilities, and that'll give you a number. Assets are what you own, so property that has value, cash in the bank, things like that. Liabilities is amounts that you owe. So especially for women of color, we are the most degreed, and oftentimes that comes with a large student loan debt, and so those would be liabilities. And so when you take assets minus liabilities, that gives you your net worth. Every year, you want to see that number increase. And if you're intentional about tracking it, sometimes that allows us to be resistant or hesitant to taking on new debt when we don't really need it. So that's the first thing you can do.
Not everybody has the ability or has given themselves permission to really even take a day off, let alone to take a weekend off or a week off to go and be in a beautiful place to recharge. So I want to offer something to anyone who needs a timeout, a place to unwind and recharge. This is not the place where we're going to stuff your brains full of more material. This is a timeout properly to really just receive some fuel for your tank. And I am all about the cycle of life and the 4 seasons And regardless of what's going on outside, sometimes inside doesn't match the season. And that's okay. This is a time to invite some of the new season into whatever you're experiencing through a virtual retreat.
Oh, you know what? I always love to help people be the best that they can be, help them grow, whether it be in their own self, if it's self-regulation, if it's in their relationships with communication or with their children, or just how to just do something better to the next level. I always have gifts that I like to offer. So if people want to reach out to me, tell me, what is your challenge? I will send you some free resources to help with that. But always remember, breathe. It's one of my biggest resources I give for breathing. And it can be hard to breathe when you're closed up like this, like a tight shell. So I like to tell people, sit up tall, put your hands underneath your thighs. And when you do that, you can't help but sit tall. Your shoulders go back, your lungs are open, your ribs are open, and the air you can take in like a balloon. Wow. The oxygen that you get into you calms you.
I was always looking for my purpose, and I thought, my children must be my purpose. And they are, to some degree, as all children are. But when God set me on this path to become an acupuncturist, it was as if a lightning bolt had absolutely come out of the sky and said, this is your purpose. This is what you need to do. And I really liked it because I'm a people person. I love people. And to be able to help them and educate them on how to take care of their bodies, how to get over disease, how to have a better outlook on life, regardless of what their diagnosis might be, that might be life-changing to them and life-saving as well. So I really absolutely love to help people in any capacity that I can. And that's how my clinical practice has kind of morphed into what I do today as a health and wellness and life coach, so that I can, reach more people, help more people, and just spread joy and tidbits of knowledge along the way.
With that in mind, you can change your emotional atmosphere. I have joy in most of the moments of my life where I used to have chaos. There is now peace because my thoughts became things. Things aren't just physical. Yes, we have the physical manifestation of a lot of people's thoughts, but I need you to know that your thoughts also create an emotional manifestation as well. So when your thoughts become things, let them be the things that you desire. Let them be the things that you want to have take place. Let them be the things that will support you on your journey. And here's something else. I'm going to leave you all with today a next level note. Some of you have heard me share next level notes, and those are some of the things that come out of my favorite book. And in my favorite book, Proverbs 23:7 talks about some thoughts that people had that became things. And for some individuals, those things people find themselves envious of. And now they have emotional manifestations from thoughts that became things that aren't truly supporting you. I want to encourage you today. Let your thoughts be things that support you. Let your thoughts be things that encourage you. Let your thoughts be things that create the future that you desire. I want to read to you a piece of the process that I had to walk through. It's a lot easier because it's already written. I don't have to go back and revisit a whole lot. So this is the beautiful part about this. So let me share with you what happened here in chapter 1. My ex showed back up as I was in the middle of my healing process. And because I was in the middle of my healing process, I was not clear enough about who I was. When you're in a relationship with someone for so long and trauma happens, your soul is tied to that person. And you don't often take enough time to see, was it really a supportive environment for me to be in there? But familiarity will cause you to do some dumb things. So this is what I did. Here's the thing that supported me. If you and your ex are choosing not to have a lawyer in the beginning, you can do it amicably without the extra expense of a lawyer, do it. But when you do that, get it notarized. Whatever agreement you guys come up with, get it notarized. That notary is your financial support and legal support as well in that moment. Because the financial agreement that my ex and I derived initially in our divorce, it got added on to our divorce decree that we filed years later when I was... Don't go around feeling shame. Too often when we're individuals that are growing through the process of how to do this thing called parenting, a lot of people don't know how, and our parents didn't know either. But what I don't want you to do is to go into a space where you are teaching and growing and sharing with your younger child from guilt, because that doesn't help them. You still have to give them insight about who they are, and you still have to prepare them for being adults, because they're adults a whole lot longer than they are children. And as you go through parent shame, sometimes in that space, we end up shielding them from things that we need to teach them. We end up doing more for them than we should instead of letting them grow into the existence of who they are. That can shortcut their growth, and you can miss out on their gifts. But prepare them for what the future still looks like and encourage them to use their gift through the process. And so, rounding out season 3. Thank you once again so much for letting me join you on the journey. And I'm looking forward to us having a lot more time together in season 4. And season 4 is right around the corner. So next week, I'm looking forward to seeing you with new things, new spaces, new elements, new guests, new thoughts. As we walk through this new season coming up, I got some things in store for you that I am so glad I get the chance to share. So, starting season 4, we're going to start talking about a little more of how to reset. Because the chaos and the elements that happen in our lives, we don't have to keep taking that. There are strategies and actionable steps that you can take to get through that. And I'm going to walk you through the various elements of my life and have some guests that have gone through their own reset story as well. So I look forward to seeing you next season. Take care, everyone, and thank you. In the meantime, this is Tanya E. walking in my purpose, and I want you to do the same.